1, 2, 3, yeah. Sayo says, have you heard what Sayo says? Whether she's sitting down by herself or with her friends, that's what Sayo says. Sayo says, have you heard what Sayo says? Whether she's sitting down by herself or with... My voice is actually going. I literally think I'm losing my voice. All that enjoyment in Mykonos is flogging me. Whether she's sitting down by herself or with her friends, that's what Sayo says. Hello, wonderful, wonderful, amazing people. Hello, my succulents. Welcome back to another episode of Sayo Says. Now, if you were paying attention to the jingle, if you are really listening to that jingle and analyzing it as like a etymology something, anthology something, you would understand that I said whether she's sitting down by herself or with her friends. This episode, I'm sat down with a friend. I am sat down with none other than Kelechi Okafor. Woo! Woo, woo, woo. That's going to be mad loud. The sound guy is actually hating us right now. Kelechi is a writer. She is an author. She is an outspoken social commentator, an activist by many, many rights. She is an award-winning former podcaster. When are you going to bring back the podcast, by the way?
Never.
Okay. She is an award-winning former podcaster. She is anti-colonial, anti-white supremacist. And aren't we all?
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all?
Are we all?
Are we all? Anti-white supremacists? That's the real question. That's the thing. Anti-colonial, anti-white supremacist, anti-heteropatriarchy. She is a truly formidable woman of wit, humor, a battle axe of a woman. I absolutely love Kelechi. From the minute I think I saw one of your videos of you, I think maybe like running. You know when you do like your run videos and you're just talking, you're just flogging everybody from Sadiq Khan to Badenoch. Everybody can get it. Everybody. I was just like... Who that is? Who that is? I like her. Thank you so much for being here, Kelechi. Oh my goodness. Oh, my sister.
I'm so excited.
How are you?
I'm good. You're like one of my favorite people ever. Not even just on the internet. Like, I just think you're so amazing. Your comedic timing, your wit, like your talent. Unrivaled. And
if anyone dare rival me, come.
I
dare, come.
Because it's a boss.
Literally,
and
what,
it's
you think you're big. Oh, step to me. Come step to me. Look, we're talking about. Thank you so much. Literally, like, the feeling is so mutual. Like I was saying, when I first, like, saw your videos and I saw just how amazingly you articulated yourself and just how, like, blunt, direct, to the point you were, and how like educated and just knowledgeable you are. What has been the process of, you becoming the person that you are now, the outspoken social commentator that you are now? Like, what was that journey like for you? Because I can't imagine it's easy being as outspoken as you are and calling out the kind of establishments that you call out.
Absolutely. I think that it comes with making a lot of mistakes. I think that as Black women, we're not really allowed to make mistakes generally, or we feel like we're not allowed to make mistakes, right? There are harsher repercussions to us making mistakes. But I've made a few mistakes publicly, figuring out what is it that I'm trying to say? Like, what is my political stance? What do I think about this? Oh, I didn't know that before. I need to go and read up on that and learn this and learn that. So I've done a lot of my learning, done a lot of like growing in the public eye and in the public sphere.
That's scary.
It's scary and it's unforgiving because there are people who are just willing and waiting to at every turn, any slip up,
they're rabid. Like rabid, like mongrels are
You have
mutts.
not creamed the bottom of your foot
Your
today.
foot bottom dry. Your foot bottom dry.
It's the sound that we're hearing every time you walk, but you're concerned about go and learn something too. Literally. So I feel like I've done a lot of that, lots of making mistakes, and I want to encourage people to make mistakes and to learn from them, because I think that people are making them, but then they're not learning. They're doubling down. They're putting out iOS press releases and just not.
They're on Twitter
shouting up and down, saying no.
Yeah, no, babes, let's be coming down.
Just calm
down. Let's be coming down. And I think what you said about, I love what you said about how open you are and how welcoming you are to making mistakes publicly. I think especially being as outspoken as you are and taking a bite out of the challenges and the topics that you do. These are not things that are these are things that can be perceived by people as divisive.
Yeah.
These are things that people are uncomfortable talking about. These are things that people are out of their depth talking about and even listening to sometimes. And so that's where a lot of the misunderstandings and things and misinterpretations, etc., occur. Yeah. So when it comes to, like making mistakes and learning and, being having a public platform, have there been times where you have wanted to say something, or in lieu of having made a mistake publicly and gotten the backlash, the rightful backlash, because sometimes sometimes
it's necessary. Sometimes you need
someone needs to grab you,
like a flogging. You need someone to Russell.
That's what you need sometimes, and sometimes it comes from your friends, and sometimes it comes from the public, etc. So how do you deal with with getting back online and making the stances that you make and talking about the things that you talk about once you have been flogged?
You come back again, because I feel like it's partly stubbornnness as well, and it's also like, who go and check me, boo? Like, I mean, I've just been checked, which is
no, literally. You can check me, but will you beat me?
Who's going to come and beat me? Taloman on me? Who? So, I mean, there are people, but
no, there are mad people out there.
There are mad people out there that you want to beat and watch. No, calm down. It's okay. I'll call police. I don't like them, but I'll call them.
I will press charges. I will.
Just know yourself. Calm down. Relax. But no, I feel like it's one of them things where you just have to be brazen about it. You have to be stubborn about it. Like, at the end of the day, it is what it is. We're all learning, and you can't rattle a rattler. Yeah. Like, sometimes people have their things to say about your personal choices, your decisions, this, that, and the other, your comments. I'm still going to live my life. Like, you're going to yap and yap and yap on the internet, and there are some things that I'll take away. And I have this saying that even some of your detractors, some of your least favorite people, some might call them haters, even those people, some of them are your soulmates, because they will tell you things. They will say things about you, probably not in the best way, that your friends might not pay attention to or call you out on or even notice. Yes. So sometimes it's not necessarily what people are saying, is how they're saying it. Because if you look at what they've said, you're like, you know what, fairs. Yeah, maybe I should, switch that up and do this and expand on this further. Or I'm just going to keep this as it is. Actually, now that you've pointed that out, I actually like it that way, and I'm going to double down that this is how it's going to be. It's not the end of the world. Like, I believe that the best teachers make great students, and ultimately I see myself as a student of this life, of this universe, and there are going to be lessons, some easier than others. Of course. And if I'm about it, like I say that I am, I'm going to have to take the harder lessons as well, and not back out of the lesson, not back out of being in a school of life. And in Yoruba spirituality, as in Ifa, we talk about how the earth is a marketplace, and it says, like, do not pay attention to the noise of the market. Go and sell your wares. Don't pay attention to what's going on around you, because people will have you gassed in such a way or talk down to you in such a way that you won't even see the value in what you've brought here to sell. 100%. And not even in that capitalist sense, but what you've come here to share and with the world. So I remind myself of that. Do not be distracted by the noise of the market. People might not even see the value in what you have, but those who it's meant for, they're going to love it.
100%.
And so if some people are saying some things, they don't get it, Don't be distracted. Keep walking, going through the marketplace, doing what you need to do. I think that sometimes some kind of spiritual praxis can root us in things, not organized religion, not dogma, but things that kind of anchor us to the now, to the present, to keep us moving. Because otherwise you get in your head and you feel like, oh, I might as well pack it in. Pack it in for who?
Yeah, for what?
If not us, then who?
How big, honestly. And I love the mindset that you have, and it's so apparent in the things that you post online and the things that you say on your podcast. And I just love the way that you're not scared to talk about the things that you feel need addressing in the way that you want to say them. And I think that, like, with me as well, like I'm quite outspoken.
Yes,
and I've always been. Like, I'm not a coward.
No.
I just don't. I don't know how to be a coward. I don't know how to bite my tongue. I don't know how to see something that I intrinsically see value in and feel needs being said, and then I'm just
Yeah.
I can't do it. You know what I
reason?
mean? And I think the beauty of, like, making mistakes publicly, and I will always be an advocate of, like, share. I want to know your opinion. I want to know, and I want to let my opinions be known so that I know if I'm on the right track or if I need reining in. And exactly, how else am I going to learn? Like, if you're constantly in your own head, thinking that yes, I'm right. This is the best and only vantage point from which to view this thing. Then you're not going to see all of the different blind spots. And so when I be saying shit online, a lot of the time is one because I feel like that's right, but also as a way to kind of like gauge just how right. Is there something that I'm missing? Is there nuance that I'm missing? And often there will be. When someone brings in a new perspective, you're expanding and you're growing. And so I want to find out from what your thoughts are. So recently, there was this video that I saw, basically talking about how English literature has been declining as it used to be one of the top courses in uni, but now it's declining.
Sorry. Did I say that out
loud? What are your thoughts on that? I'll try and find the sources, etc. But what are your thoughts on that? Obviously, as a writer and a avid reader, etc., and a lover of words, wordsmith, obviously. What are your thoughts on that, and how do you? And you said good. Why was that?
The only reason I say good is because English literature forces us really to, I say good, I'm saying that in a facetious way, because actually it is good for us to know the canonic text. It is good for us to know the kind of quintessential literature text that we're expected to read, right, within the curriculum, because you will meet people who that will be their point of reference. And sometimes when we're trying to get certain places in our career, you have to have a point of reference. You have to have something to connect with people on. And so if they make a niche joke and you've read that book, you're in. In. And they're like, my people. And if you could not connect on anything else, once you've got that, they're like, okay, cool, we've got this understanding. So I'm glad that, I read the William Blakes and I read the this and the that, but I'm also glad that we had the Langston Hughes included in there and the Chinua Achebe. But those were almost novelties. They weren't the focus.
They were asterisks.
Yeah.
It was like literature.
If you're lucky, you can have this one, but otherwise, no. So I think that the decline is happening because people are looking at the colonial framework of curriculum as a whole, but specifically English literature. Because why can we not look at other texts? Because all we're doing is reinforcing a particular type of hierarchy that makes no sense. John Updike is the most boring author ever. I don't give a heck. I don't give a hecky heck. That author is boring. But people will be like, oh my God, have you read Updike? And to prove your intellect amongst these people.
I hate pretentious like literature it pisses me off. That was how I felt like, growing up, in secondary school, in sixth form, etc., studying English language and literature and reading all of these writers, etc. And even with like anthologies, obviously there was a lot of like poetry is my thing. So like there were anthologies and, you know, the poems that I was reading, honestly, I forgot them because it just doesn't connect with me. But you know who I do remember? Benjamin Zephaniah.
See what I'm saying?
I remember Benjamin Zephaniah.
And how many did we get? Gwendolyn Brooks. Like, come on.
You know, and so I think that regarding the decline in literature, I think in a different episode I was talking about people not being able to infer meaning.
Yeah, and critical thinking. They don't have that anymore. And people's concentration spans have declined. And so again, the text that you're required to read within the course, there will be more lengthy texts, and people don't really have the concentration span for that anymore. So there are so many kind of converging factors that have brought this this phenomena around where people aren't wanting to sign up for these courses as much. As somebody who literally studied English literature in high school, then I went on to my A-levels to study English literature again. And even then when I got to university, I studied drama and theatre studies with law. But again, it's essentially literature that I was focused on. So I'm really particular about the English language. And I think that that's also what's helped me when I'm cussing people, because I know...
I can cuss you from hell to high heaven. I can use old Shakespearean language if I want, and then I can come and be using slangage
and then
to be doing it as well.
Can you see?
Rubbish.
So this is why we need to let people know that actually there are benefits to studying these texts, and you won't know what you're up against unless you know the rule book. Yeah. And when we look at literature, because of the propagandized nature of the curriculum, when we look at literature, it gives us an insight into the mentalities of the people that we're essentially having to deal with in society.
Yes, 100%.
And we're not thinking about that enough. We're not seeing that beyond just reading for bants. We're reading to understand our environment so we can better navigate it. And I think that that's important. And I ultimately think that in one way, shape or form, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing now if we hadn't paid attention to those texts.
In order to break the rules, you need to understand the rules. You need to understand just how far you can bend and break the rules. Like whenever I'm writing my poetry, whenever I'm writing, like the satire and I'm making up words, I'm not just randomly making up words.
And that's why what you do is phenomenal. And that's why I keep saying in terms of not being rivaled in it, because I actually listen to it and watch it as a body of work. Like people sometimes might miss the metaphors, or they might miss how you like the flow of things or the reference points. Overall, everyone's having a great time. They love it, but I'm like, God, that was underrated. This is why you missed out there. And it's just so great. And even in terms of watching the trajectory of your career thus far, that now we've got the, well.
Oh yeah, breaking news. News that is breaking.
So we've got that, and we've got poems, and now we've got this, your podcast. So when we think about it, like from starting with the poems to now, like you became even more like you went out just of poetry and said, no, these are my actual views. In case you got it twisted, these are my views. Like, don't ever get it twisted. I can meet you anywhere and flog you there as well. And I feel like that's important because it really started to kind of position you in a way that is kind of, you're unmovable, you're immovable, because it's just like, no, I've got all of the smarts, not just the creator, I've got all of the smarts. And we're going to do this. And I love that for us as Black women, that having this multifaceted way, creative way of expressing ourselves, because why not?
Literally, why the fuck not? Right. And I think that speaking on Black women and creativity, etc. What has your experience been in navigating the creative space as a Black woman, as outspoken as you are, and as unmovable as you are in your stance? Like I've seen your interviews on the news. I've seen you speaking at universities and stuff like that, which oh my goodness, there was one, I can't remember exactly where it was. I think maybe Cambridge.
The monarchy.
Cambridge. Yeah. Oh goodness. I was watching that. I was just like, yes. Yeah, like that's what. Yes, like you were giving it. It was goals. Like, it was amazing, and it was one of those things where like I wish I was there to experience. So next time you're having
absolutely,
please
you should even be there. You should also be giving them. Give it art. They would be art. It would be nuts to give a Cambridge address as a poem.
Gosh,
oh my god!
No, the whole thing just written. Amazing. Anyways, Cambridge, shout me. Love you.
Holler.
Anyways, like, how has it been for you navigating the creative space as a Black woman?
It's been lonely, and so that's why I'm really, really glad. Unbreak my heart. No, it's been lonely, and that's why I'm glad that
was such a Drew Barrymore moment. Sorry, like I'm about to...
Yes.
Tell how was that?
How was that? How did you feel?
How was that? She's so intense. Oh my gosh!
I'm
Get
like
off my
Drew
lap.
Barrymore. Take your leg off people's face.
Get off my lap. Get off my back.
Get off my
Get
back.
off my back.
Pooja?
You're dying for it.
Gagging for
You're
it.
gagging for it. Very Drew Barrymore, but yes, I was saying.
But no, it's been lonely, and I'm really, really glad that now that, you know, in more recent years that there are more Black women who are actually like, no, this is ridiculous. I'm going to say what I need to say. I'm like, yes.
Because it's literally damned if you do, damned if you don't with us. I'll be so real. And I think there was there was a moment in, I think probably when I was at uni, when I was existential and nihilistic.
as one experience.
Literally, because like, wow, this is a crazy world. When I literally, something happened, and it was one of those canon events for me that I was just like, I don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore. I don't care about trying not to appear as the angry Black woman. I don't care about being perceived as aggressive. I don't care because whether I say what it is I want to say or not, you're going to see me in this way anyway. So I'm gonna say what it is I need to say, and I've never looked back ever since, honestly. So, like, elaborate, continue on what you were saying. Yeah, because
for me, I think that's what it is. See more women, Black women doing what they're doing. I love that there have been moments where I'll see people flogging people with my words, and I'm like, proud of you. Like, they'll literally put at Kelechi Okafor. I'm like, proud of you. Keep up the good work. And seeing these Black girls online, especially on Twitter, just not having it anymore. There have been some phenomenal moments where they have really just been on it and I thought to myself, this is essentially what we need, but in real life, where people mobilize, Black women mobilize together, and then we can't be bullied online for being darker skinned, for wanting to wear red lipstick or whatever. And just the horrid bullying that's taken place online over the years, to see Black women suddenly be like, actually, no, we're stopping that right now, and we're going to ruin all of your careers if you try it again. Literally. And suddenly everyone's backed up, everyone's calmed down. I said, that's it, that's where we need to be now.
I think, and for me as well, I love being a disagreeable woman. I so much love it. I love being a disagreeable woman because you're not gonna play in my face like that. You're not gonna play in my face like that because there've been instances. Oh my gosh, babe. There was one time, where I was at work. This was back when I was working as a cleaner in the hospital, domestic assistant. One old white woman, one Doris.
Of course,
she had just come back from her cigarettes break. I'm in the cleaner cupboard. It's a very small, narrow space. So it was, it was a very tight space. I'm sat down. I have my fro out. I'm minding my own business. Not doing my work, of course. Duh. Fuck, I look like working. At work, please. Shit. Minding my business. Got my phone down. All of a sudden, I feel this nasty hand in my hair.
No.
Cigarettes.
Oh.
Should I just finish doing cigarettes?
Not your ashtray fingers. Your ashtray.
Volcanic eruption finger.
Your nicotine fingers in my hair.
Pompeii fingers.
Your tobacco talons in my hair.
She put it in my hair. The minute I felt it, I slapped the bitch. It was the only way. Yeah. And it's that kind of those violations of our autonomy, of our consent, of our bodies, etc. And that's just policing our bodies, let alone our words. And so like when I see Black women online being, like being mistreated, it cannot be on my watch.
It can't
be on my watch.
I'm gonna get involved out of principle. And that's my thing. Like, I don't have to like every black woman, but you're sure as hell not going to play in her face whilst I am also a bystander.
100%.
No, just for letting you know, just to set the record straight. I mean, unless she's right wing, but even then, I find myself getting involved sometimes. Because sometimes the way that they talk about Kemi, I'm like, oh, you idiot! Now you're making me have to wade in.
Literally, like, you're making me defend Kemi Badenoch. How dare they? Don't do it. Don't put me in a position to defend.
About art engaging in prickdom, to be honest.
Like, don't do it. But, like, I think also there's this, especially in this era, especially in this era of... It's a tick. In this era of Mean Girl and Girls Girl, all of these things, from like, there's a part of me, there is a side of me that sees these things as just more ways of trying to silence women and trying to control women.
Absolutely.
Once you're labeling somebody as a mean girl or someone isn't a girl's girl, mind you, the definition of what a girl's girl was compared to how it's now being used socially is completely different. A girl's girl is now someone who shares their the lip gloss that they're wearing. Who shares the details of their boob job? Who shares babes? That's not
what we're doing.
That's not what we're doing. And so I feel like the essence of, the disagreeable woman. Disagreeable women are under attack.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be a girl's girl. No one wants to be perceived as a mean girl. Mind you, these things are being projected onto women in a lot of ways as a way to silence them and control our behaviors. We're not always gonna fucking get along.
Right.
Like, the hell?
And I think that there's a reality to that. And the ones who try to do up girls, you'll go to their events and they're the actual mean girls. They're the ones that, and it's just like, oh, I don't want to be a part of this.
All these labels.
Just be yourself. Just be yourself. I'm just a baby girl.
Literally.
That is all I know.
I'm just a damsel. I'm a damsel.
Don't come and ask me to come and do anything else, because honestly, I feel like it takes away, it detracts from a lot of nuanced conversation as well. And I think some of, we've got a lot of these femininity coaches online and talking about the divine feminine. I just really want them to shut up.
I love people. I love people. Let's do them. Boo. Into every camera. Boo. Shame on you. Femininity coaches, I cannot wrap my head around it, because as a womanist, I'm working on the internal work of making sure that I'm addressing any internal misogyny that I have, because it's there. We live in a patriarchal, misogynistic world where these things are ingrained into every fabric and fiber of society. It is inevitable. But once you're conscious and once you're aware that this thing can show up in ways that you haven't even fathomed, because different situations will bring out different things, different understandings, and will show different gaps in your understanding and your knowledge. Yeah. And so, when these femininity, when the rise of femininity,
but it correlates with the rise of fascism.
Fascism, of course,
right? And that's the reason that they're there to further propagate and perpetuate these narratives about gender roles, right? And so they are coming to do the bidding of patriarchy in a woman's body. That's essentially what they're doing. And sometimes they can actually be more dangerous than a man kind of pushing forward patriarchal values or patriarchal ideals, because you don't see them coming. Like, you are close friends with them, or you don't realize, you don't know when it's suddenly going to hit you. And you're like, because at least a man, that's a man. Like, I already have my boundaries in place. But with these femininity coaches, they could be your friends, they could be your sister, they could be your sister-in-law. You just don't know.
You don't know,
and they catch you unawares. And then that's when you've got to have the conversation 100%. And be like, can you take your nonsense elsewhere? But 100%. Ultimately, it's this centering of men that that these femininity coaches focus on, and reasserting these gender roles. And it means nothing. It's such a waste of a life. It's such a waste of time. I think sometimes the most feminine thing you can do is to be violent and disagreeable.
Literally.
Like, just move through the world like you've got an axe and just roll through.
Yes.
Because there's something so attractive about a woman who just doesn't give a fuck, doesn't give a heck. Because who can chat to her? When you see somebody, you see a woman that is quote unquote tameable. Right? Untamable. You're like, go through, my G.
Oh, I love it.
Go through, my G.
I absolutely love it. I think the thing with the internalized misogyny, etc. I'm gonna give a little bit of pushback to what you said about those about like pick-me's and femininity coaches and women who have internalized misogyny being more dangerous than a man. I'm gonna push back on that because I feel like that is another thing that misogyny and patriarchy likes to do. It holds women to a higher level of moral behavior.
Not even moral behavior, it's who they have proximity to.
No, 100%.
Because due to patriarchy, women have more proximity. Like Bell Hooks was talking about it in Communion, A Female Search for Love. Women have more chances actually of being able to do certain types of damage, specific
100%.
types of damage, than men, because they're not put quintessentially in nurturing roles. So women generally have more access to the child, to the young girls, to the young boys. So if they've internalized these misogynistic patriarchal ideals, they are in there in a way that a man
will not have access to. They don't even have the interest.
So potentially they hold more danger. They have more ability to cause that harm because they have more proximity in those moments.
Yes.
And that's another way that patriarchy works. It isn't that I think that, they are more dangerous by default. It's because of the spaces that they have access to that ordinarily men don't have access to. And those are usually spaces where we have our guard down.
Yes.
Your grandma can be doing your hair,
Yes.
plaiting your hair, you're minding your business, and she says to you, you know you won't find a husband if you Where does a man have access to me in that moment? Or you know your hair is too coarse. Who's going to marry you with hair like this? So they have access to you in moments where they plant these seeds, and that's it. It's locked in because you had your guard down.
100%.
But I don't think that in terms of when we're kind of looking at the dynamics overall, women are more dangerous overall.
See the dangers of, on a micro level and then on the macro level.
Yes.
I think obviously it's very nuanced. The dangers and the threats that a man a misogynist proposes is, I feel like it's not even comparable. It's completely, they're different. And of course, like, I have had more problems with women than maybe men, but the extent to which
we know the extent to
know
which they can cause
we
violence.
know the extent to which
but
they
when
can
we're
cause
thinking
violence.
about,
and even then, I don't even think we know the extent to which they can cause violence because
they get
are
away with it.
imaginative.
They get
they
away
are
with
creative. They come up with new ways of wreaking havoc and perfecting their femicidal desires.
But then we ask ourselves then, when it comes to women, and this is what I'm saying about the internalization of patriarchy, being able to come together and say, this is wrong, we're not having this, right? What are we doing? Because we will know that R. Kelly, trigger warning, assaulted all of those young girls. And there are women who are still asking for R. Kelly to be let out. There are women that we have looked up to, neo-soul singers, actresses from back in the day, singers now who are around our like similar ages or in our generation, who are like, oh, you don't understand Bill Cosby. Oh, you don't understand R. Kelly.
Separate the artist from the art. But they never extend that kind of grace to sex workers. Oh. You can't separate the sex worker
from the person.
From the person. You can't separate they're completely ruined. They're completely
their
tarnished.
Job from what they...
Okay, cool.
So no,
interesting.
It's how we go about upholding these behaviors, right? To me, that like men would not be able to get away with as much as they are if we at some point said we're going to mobilize and we're going to do something, because it's not an insurmountable force. It's a force that we've accepted. Yes, it's one that has been deeply entrenched within our society, but it's also one that we're choosing to accept. The same way that Trump, same way that Keir Starmer, right now, we are choosing to accept, whether we like it or not, we're choosing to accept that they're there. And there is something that can be done, but we don't want the repercussions of what needs to be done. And if we said now, everybody go on a sex break, don't sleep with men, the same way that other women are doing in other countries. Don't sleep with men until our requirements, our demands are met. How successful do you think that would be in the Black British community?
Oh, I wouldn't even be able to say. I wouldn't be able to say. I don't think it would be very successful because the kind of priming that culture, religion, society does to women to create this desperation
Yes.
for men, for relationship, for marriage is sickening.
Yes.
People are going to work functions with this idea of scavenger hunting for men.
Right.
For a husband.
And this is my thing. And I think that this is what I've loved so much about the womanist movement throughout the years and researching, and specifically why one of my favorite thinkers, rest her soul, is Bell Hooks. Because as uncomfortable as some of the text is that she writes, she asks for Black women to take accountability, for how we are complicit in and other ways that we are compliant to a system that readily harms us. And we know that to challenge it as individuals puts us in harm's way. So that means that we need to be in community to be able to challenge it. And yet we don't want to be in community.
I think it's what happens. It's what happens when the community is not built on the foundations that are good enough to sustain not just the community but also the individual. I think that all of the shaming, all of the bullying, all of the hyperfixating on other people's lives, the parasocial relationships, the sense of self-righteousness and the exceptionalism.
Yes.
That, could never be me. I'm better than her.
I could never do that.
Could never be me.
It can be you and so quickly.
I'll put my hand up. When I was younger, I was like that.
All of us were.
I was like that.
We chose to start outgrowing it. We chose to start unlearning it. And it's a constant...
chose to listen to the women who were telling us that what we're doing is not
damaging.
Serving anyone, but the larger system that is keeping us in this position where we're not able to build the kind of communities that we want to build, where we're not able to rely on each other, where we're not able to completely see and imagine a world where we are not so in need of partnership with men who do not deserve it. There's nothing wrong with desiring companionship. There's nothing, sorry, my love. There is nothing wrong with desiring romantic relationships. But it's about having that self-control and that discipline to be like, you know what? This is not the kind of partnering, this is not the kind of relationship that I want. This is not good for me. This is not good for my future children. This is not good. It's not good. It's just not good.
It can't be by any means necessary. And I think that that's ultimately what it is. And I think that actually, if more women were to sit with themselves, more Black women were to sit with themselves, because you said, of course it's not wrong to want partnership or to desire partnership. But I bet you that there are quite a lot of women that actually don't desire partnership. They've just been conditioned to think that they do. And then you really sit down and ask yourself, what do you actually want? And then an existential crisis begins, right?
A lot of... Continue.
And so that's what I'm thinking, that now we have more, generally speaking, some of us have now more disposable income. So different choices can be made. And suddenly you're finding, especially as a tarot reader, I'm finding more clients coming to me who are actually like, now I don't have to have a man. A lot of people don't have to have a man because they are in a socioeconomic position that they do not need to, right? And then it's like, I'm kind of realizing that I'm good, I'm okay, but then what does that mean for me as a person? Like, because that's what I was taught to aim for. Now aim for, try different
now you
things.
have to use your imagination to conceive of what is possible for you and what is enjoyable for you. Like, now you're having to form you're having to understand your wants and your needs, your desires outside of, you know, of being partnered, outside of wanting a relationship.
And that can be scary.
You know? It can be very scary.
And that's why I find that when people are given that opportunity, they run back to organized religion. Because it's like, well, there are these set of rules that tells me what's right and wrong.
It's comforting.
And I'm going to go with
the framework
certainty.
is already there. You know, of course there will be some it won't be a one size fits all, but at least they're comforted in the fact that you know, at least this has worked for so many other people.
So I'm gonna
try to make it work. Oh,
like
gosh.
let me go and do that.
Every single time that woman is on a podcast or an interview, oh, my sister, oh, the prayer. Sierra, big Sierra, with her own career.
Right.
That has lasted years.
Right.
Big Sierra. And she's now, how do I find a man? How do I find, she's now your...
From Future to Russell, how do
your
I
marriage
do it?
mummy. Can you get out of here and stop asking that woman about marriage and the prayer? What?
It couldn't just be luck of the draw. Like, she just lucked out. And actually, we don't even know the things that go on behind the scenes. We don't know anything because, again, what you said about parasocial relationships, we don't know anything. We thought that Tiana Taylor and what's his name? Blow your trumpet. Like, we thought that they were good.
Yeah.
And he was really showing her pepe.
Yeah,
so I just feel like you can't romanticize what people present on social media, especially if you are on that quest of partnership. It doesn't make sense because anything that takes you outside of yourself, it's not gonna do you much good.
Honestly.
The work comes from the inside, and usually the information, the data that you need also comes from the inside. But it is a techie thing. Yeah. But I just hope that for more women, for more Black women, that they read more bell hooks, that we challenge ourselves with our thought patterns. And there are some things that I've read, especially in Communion, and I think it was what is it? We Real Cool, another one, or The Will to Change. And I'll just close the book and wander off because I'm like, nah, you're rude. I'm not dealing with this today. I don't want to talk about this today because it makes you have to face yourself.
Exactly.
And you feel like, oh, I've got this on lock. I know this. And it's like, how on lock do you have it?
Exactly.
Do you know this part?
Exactly. That's the thing. And I think that I actually gave my brother a bell hooks book. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was All About Love. Yeah. Yes. It didn't work because he's a baby daddy.
That's not and the thing is, we all go for that book first, but that's not the book that they need. They need The Will to Change, or The Will to Change, or is it Rock My World? They're the ones that they need first, or honestly. We Real Cool. They need them ones but then it's a lot of words. Bell Hooks is, you know, she gives a lot of words, and it's about making things accessible as well. 1,000%. And I think that sometimes we've had this issue previously with academics who have had these thoughts, and they've been wonderful. And I know that sometimes you really do have to use the vocabulary that's necessary, but sometimes it feels like the knowledge was being gate kept, and so some women have felt like, oh well, that's not for me because they're doing all the speaky spokey, so it's not for me. But when you actually break it down to a woman and go, oh, this is all they meant, and exactly. Oh, I agree, exactly. It's just they use the other words.
That's something that I'm constantly like working on because I have always loved words. I get excited when like a new word is I'm coming across a new word, especially if it's in the lexical field of lexical field.
Yeah, good. But can you see?
Especially
can you see?
Especially if it's in relation to like a topic that I'm really interested in, you know? And so like trying to like temper my language and make sure that like I'm not alienating my audience. I don't want to alienate you guys. But because I grew up like whenever there's a word that I don't know, I'm so quick to...
Absolutely, but not everyone's a searcher.
Not everyone is a searcher. And so I'm trying to make sure that like I mitigate against that. Do you know what I mean? And try and get a good balance. But talking about, you know, bell hooks and books, right? You are an author. You are.
We're waiting for your own writer.
It's coming. It's
a
coming.
Book of poems.
Poetry. Don't worry.
I can't wait. Can't wait, lads. Can't wait.
We have here, this is actually turning into a local book club. I'll be so real. Like, we have Awakened by Kelechi Okafor. My gosh. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what the book is, what your inspirations behind writing it are, and the journey that you want to take your readers on?
Yes, so
this looks fab. Be holding up as well.
Thank you.
There we
go. So Awakened is a story that follows the journey of Pels. She's in her late 20s, and she's a journalist. She works at the Mercury, and she is wanting to research why young black people are going missing and being found by bodies of water. But her editor, Dave, is just like, well, there's no story in that, and stop making like weird assumptions. What you think some secret society's taken
piss
there,
off, Dave.
you know, just go and focus on writing on about hip hop instead. That's better for you. Go and do that. But actually, what he does do, he sends her on an assignment to the Democratic Republic of the Republic of Benin. He sends her to an assignment there where the locals are protesting because they've got this vine called the spirit vine, where when it's brewed and you drink it in a ceremony, you hallucinate, and it's said to give you like a spiritual download, right? And so the locals are like, well, you're taking our special vines, these American retreat centers that are being built in our towns, and you're helping yourself to our things, and we don't have control over it. We don't have any say over what you're doing. And so she's sent over to go and research that. So she then takes part in having the spirit vine, only to discover that she's got like dormant superpowers. Ooh, and that
mystical.
and that she was right all along, that there is something very sinister, very insidious about the young black people going missing, and she has to uncover what that is and then basically fight them to save someone very, very close, near and dear to her.
Oh, amazing. Okay, so obviously you mentioned about the book being surrounded the suspicions of multiple black people being found around bodies of water. This rings very close to home.
Yes.
What was, do you wanna share what the inspirations and what made you have that particular narrative?
Because I mean, for me, it's about subversive activism, you know. For years, I've been looking at how black people are going missing, then their bodies are found by bodies of water, whether that's a lake, a river, pond, or the sea. And police will arrive and they'll almost instantly say, oh, there's nothing suspicious here. Yeah. Even if somebody's got numerous broken nails and it looks like they've been clawing at things, or they've got strange marks on their body.
Nothing to say, right? Nothing suspicious.
Nothing suspicious at all. Can't swim. Blackies. Or they'll say, or maybe they were running county lines, you know, and they met an unfortunate end. So I started something called Asking the Tides, where it's a Google form where I just ask people to put in any instances, like the link is permanently in my bios across social media, to put in any instances when they've come across anyone who has died and their bodies have been found by bodies of water, and just to put it there, because if the police aren't going to collate this information, somebody has to collect this information.
That's grassroots activism as well. That's
because we need it. And I don't know what we're going to do. And we had an inaugural meeting a little while back, and you know, various people, loads of people actually joined the Zoom, and we're talking about what could potentially be done. And I thought to myself, the first thing is, let me just get as much data as I can, and then I'm going to get help from people who actually know what they're doing, because I think sometimes there can be that ignorance of, I'm going to do everything. It's not for me to do. I'm just going to gather the information, and I've got enough of a platform for people to give and bring the information to me to help with that. And then it will go to people who actually are in the business of research, right? And maybe it is us pooling money together to be able to pay for somebody's time for a year so they can just research the whole thing and use the information that we found. And at least then we have a report that we can present to the government and say, hey, we want more to be done regarding this. You can't continue to ignore it.
We've done half the work for you.
Literally. So I had this book deal with Trapeze, and it was a 2-book deal. So I had my first book out in September 2023, which was a collection of short stories, Edge of Here. And so that was sci-fi as well. And I'm not an idiot. Like, I know that part of the reason that I got the book deals is because I've got a large platform. Yeah. So it makes sense to use my platform to talk about things that I think are important, but shroud them in fiction, because what I've got is a fiction deal, right? Yeah. So I felt like it was important for us to talk about the missing black people. So I put it in a science fiction novel. I'm not saying that what I've written here, right? I'm not saying that what I've written here is actually what's happening to them, but because I've written it in this way, people are now going to go and look it up and say, oh, I didn't even know that, because at the end of the book, there's an author's note, and they see that, wow, I didn't even know that this was actually happening. Well, now you know. So what are you going to do about it? Yeah. Because the next time you're reading the newspaper or you see something in the news, you're more alert to, should the police have looked into this more? Because the families deserve better.
Yeah.
If anything, we know that there is a systemic disparity in how these cases are investigated in comparison to white peers or counterparts who face the same kind of circumstances. Every year we're adding more money to look for Madeleine McCann.
Literally.
Why?
And like, I love that a child has gone missing and there was so much energy to try to find that child. But let's have that be a universal thing then. Let's have those resources available to the black girls that are going missing, to the black children that are going missing.
But even in terms of white children, have we had more than her? Have we really seen more than Madeleine over the past few years? So, and with this government, there's always something going on. There's always something going on, because I haven't seen that, it publicized in the same way of any other child going missing, because there is more to that case than they're willing to share with us. But either way, as you say, we know that every year literally more money's been given to look for Madeleine after all of these years. But we don't even have a little, not a crumb of that money, not a penny of that money to look for black people when they go missing.
Yeah.
And how is that okay?
Yeah.
100%. And I love that you have written that into Awakened. I cannot wait to get into it. I fancy myself a bit of a writer. Yes, sometimes, of course I write my poetry, but I also write a little bit of fiction every now and then. And I'd love to share some with you.
Yes, please.
Okay, sure. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Welcome to Storytime with Sayo. But today we've got a special bit of a twist, okay? Seated right next to me, we have author and writer Kelechi. And I felt like it's only fair that she herself is also read to.
Oh, yeah,
you know? I feel like writers deserve to be read to also. So this is the story. It was a cold evening. We were all at the mercy of the unforgiving grey clouds that had just started to roll in, quickly becoming bullies to the landscape. Clouds this pregnant with rain, it was only a matter of time until the waters broke and the skies opened. Meanwhile, the familiar scent of Charlie Pink and Link's body spray mixed with the damp, tense air, an aroma which was to be expected during a secondary school girls' football tour. Like the homie Warriors, we took to the pitch with only one goal. Well, several goals. Obviously, as many goals as possible, to score as many goals as... It was a football tournament, so obviously, yes. The goal is to win. We had been kicking ball for what seems like an eternity. That black rubber stuff from the AstroTurf had long ago invaded and filled my boots. But adrenaline coursed through my veins as it was the last game of the tournament and we were hungry for victory. And I was hungry for some eba and egusi as well. But we were not the only ones with this appetite. Though the rain had started, it was the undeniable scent of competition that filled the air. My peers of 15 and 16-year-old girls got into formation. Me, I was midfield. I had a need for speed and an even greater need to win. I'm very competitive. The match was intense and the pressure was on, which in retrospect, it actually was a bit dramatic because it literally was just a secondary school football tournament. Like, it was not that deep. Anyways, bright lights flooded the pitch and damn near blinded us. But my sights were fixed on winning. Our opponents were mean. They liked to throw all this foundation, all this HMB setting powder on here. Our opponents were mean. They liked to throw their weight around, but they messed with the wrong girl today. They deployed some underhand tactics in their attempt to win. Slide tackles, barging, pushing. I may have been the smallest baller on the team, the most petite. So I was always underestimated. But these girls were about to learn their lesson today. I'm on the pitch, both rain and sweat beading off my face. I see the ball and I go for it. The tiny detail of it being between the legs of my opponent was an afterthought. I didn't care. It wasn't going to stop me from going after it. And so I did, successfully. I outskilled her, and she did not like that one bit. 1 minute the ball was with her, the next minute it was already halfway down the pitch. After getting the ball off her, I continued with the game. I had only taken a few steps when I hear a voice saying, "Oi, what do you think you're doing?" Like the Lutonian that she is.
Oh, not Luton.
Stupid Lutonian. Mind you, I'm a Lutonian, but it don't matter. Like the Lutonian that she is. Before I had even fully turned around, this raggedy bitch face was already an inch away from mine. I was confused, perplexed, in fact. And in my confusion, I confusingly said, "Whoa, what the hell?" I took a step back because the stench of her breath was... Ew. Her breath stank, man. It was crazy. Next thing I know, this loser had her forehead on mine. Her first mistake. Because as any babe with a large forehead knows, we're sensitive about that shit and don't let just anybody touch it. I was surprised that she had that much audacity because my forehead is large enough to leave a dent like a lunar crater on hers. Just buff. If I do both, you see. Tis well. "What are you gonna do?" she said. What? It all happened so fast. In the split second in which we were forehead to forehead, the jaw-clenching, teeth-grinding, eye-squinting rage spread through my 5'1" body to the point in which I couldn't even hear what was going on. Everything was muffled. Suddenly, she pushes her head against mine with more force, and I lost it. I saw red. My peri-peri vision, my peri-peri vision. I could see that the game had stopped, but I didn't care. Not even when everyone from both teams were racing over to the site of the altercation, no doubt to try to break us up, Kelechi. I pushed back with my forehead, but with more force than hers. And then she pushed her dusty head back with my hands, breaking us out of the goat-like head-to-head in which we had been locked. My pushback made that little loser take one step back. Like I told you, I have a large forehead. Man, and it pushes out as well. It protrudes. Don't mess with me, stupid girl. My pushback made that little loser take one step back, but she had violated too much for me to just leave it as that. As she pushed back, my left hand holding her top, I pulled her in like a yo-yo, my right arm raised and formed into a fist of righteousness, about to rain down on her like a meteor. I was gonna rock her jaw. I was. I wanted her to make the first move. If she's bad, she won't be a da. So my clenched fist stayed suspended in the air, and she did the same, a stalemate. Brief as it was. All the while she was daring me to go on then. And so I did, or at least I was about to. Tired of the games, I took matters into my own hands, pun intended. I'm impatient, you see. So I got bored of waiting for her to throw the first punch. As I'm about to deck her, my friend grabs my arm and stops me. Get off me, unhand me, Indy, unhand me. I thrash around, trying to loosen myself from her grip. I really wanted to punch this girl. I really, really did. Indy told me, allow it, leave her. I was being held back. That loser girl was being pulled away by her teammates. The referee was blowing the whistle. Our coaches had made their way onto the pitch from the sidelines. It was a mess. It was then that I really noticed all of the commotion around us. My teammates were defending my honor, presenting a united front. Good sportsmanship,
really
right? Love
it.
that. We are Sparta. You know what I mean? Very much given Sparta. Some were trying to play peacemaker. Others almost got into fights themselves with the opposing team. The game had descended into mayhem, chaos. There was a buzz of electricity in the air, a cocktail of confusion and excitement, but it died down just as quickly as it had started in the beginning. The confrontation ended. Me and loser girl, she's loser girl, I don't care about her name. Me and loser girl had been separated and were escorted off the pitch. The game continued without us as we watched from the sidelines, during which we both calmed down and were made to apologize to each other and shake hands in true good sportsmanship style. I had my fingers crossed behind my back, of course, so it didn't count. After which, her coach approached me and also apologized on her behalf. Apparently, little Miss Loser had been a problematic hothead the whole tournament, and it wasn't her first altercation of the tournament. Alas, with all that was said and done, we were victorious and we won the tournament. Now, that was my retelling, dramatically, of course, theatrically.
We need the full book.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. So obviously, I wanted your opinions as a writer, published writer. Do I have a chance? That was a good retelling of the time I almost beat up a girl.
Yeah,
in a
unhand
football
me,
tournament.
unhand me.
You fiend.
It's literally genius.
Thank you.
Like,
Thank
IC
you.
bestseller. Like, we need that story.
New
It's
York.
almost like
New York
Beckham
bestseller.
had like Beckham.
Thank you.
Like that.
Thank you.
It's
I was
gorgeous.
bending it like Benga instead of Beckham. Bending like
Bending
Benga.
like Bemisola.
boss.
That's it. That's what you need. That's what we need. We need.
That's
the
what we needed.
And your very vision. We
Per-
need
per-
your very for
per-
vision. Yeah. No, it's fantastic.
Thank you,
We
thank
need
you.
the full
I
story.
needed
I felt
that
the
support.
tension,
Thank
and
you.
I was rooting for the team.
Yeah, did you like the way I opened with setting the scene,
And
the clouds pregnant with rain?
Oh, it was beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh, I love that.
Okay. Wow. I have just gotten the thumbs up and the sign off from Kelechi Okafor, who has just released her new book, Awakened. Make sure that you buy it. Thank you. Thank you. Story time with Shaya. But thank you so much for your time.
No,
thank you so much for writing Awakened. I cannot wait to sink my teeth into this. Tell the people, tell the succulents, tell my succulents where they can purchase this. Please make sure to shout out your socials as well, and anything else that you want to plug, let the people know.
So the book Awakened, as well as Edge of Here, if you want to kind of get a backstory on some of the technology in the book, you can get it from any of the bookstores. I recommend bookshop.org because it's a website that independent booksellers go to or they sell from, and it means that they get a lot more profit from there as well. It's just more equitable than using that man's site. You know, the man I'm talking about that got married in Venice recently and doesn't pay his workers properly. So if you can, do try to use bookshop.org or go to your bookshop in your area and get them to order it in for you, if you don't mind, maybe a wait of a few days as well. And you can find me on socials at Kelechi Okafor everywhere. And yeah, that's pretty much me.
Thank you so much. Make sure that you are on book.com, right?
Bookshop.org.
Bookshop.org.
Yeah.
Getting your copy and supporting and reading. This is going to be absolutely delicious. I cannot wait. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for being my guest.
Thank
oh
you
my
for having
goodness, this was
me.
amazing. I hope you enjoyed my little story time.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's just the most amazing experience. Thank you so much for being the creative that you are.
Thank you for being exactly who it is you think you are. And come on. Okay, thank you so much for joining us on Sayo Says. Have you heard what Sayo says? Whether she's sitting down by herself, remember I said I lost my voice, by herself or with her friends, that's what Sayo said. That is what Sayo and Kelechi said this episode, period. Is there a message that you want to put out? So I try to do this in ways like, today Sayo says blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Like, don't let anyone take you for idiot.
Oh, yeah.
Is there something that Kelechi says?
Kelechi says, always remember that anybody can get it at any time. Maybe today is the day that you are somebody else's karma. Don't delay.
You're dying for it.
Gagging for it.
You're gagging for it. And that's what Kelechi said, baby. Anyone can get it. Okay? Go and give it to them. Yeah, give it to them.
Hey.
Yeah, give it to them. Yeah, give it to them. Not the piano.